Welcome everyone to Penalty Box Radio. Justin Bradford here. We're going to talk some college hockey. We have Sheldon Wolitski from the UAH Chargers alumni group, and they have a huge season ticket drive going into effect because this program absolutely needs your support from the entire hockey community. They got a huge push a few weeks ago. And so, Sheldon, thank you so much for taking the time to join me.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. I appreciate your support and appreciate the fan support. And yeah, this is a big, we've overcome some big obstacles ever since the UH administration had decided to cancel the program due to budget constraints, COVID, and so forth. We raised over $1 million in 4 days through GoFundMe, and that was a big obstacle that we need to overcome. And they reinstated the program. And now the next big one is to really send a message to the conferences. Our next big obstacle after we get the season ticket sales is to get into either the Atlantic or the CCHA. So we really want to send a message to them, letting them know that the community wants the program. So the goal is to sell 3,000 season tickets during this season ticket drive.
And going back to that, how huge it was, because only 5 business days to raise that much money, and the hockey community, not just in the South, but all across the world, came together through social media and made this happen. And especially, it's not just a normal time, it's during a pandemic when so many people are still hurting a little bit when it comes to funds. And so to have so many people come together, whether it's a $5 donation or a $500 donation, what did it mean to you as an alum of this hockey team to have that many people from the world come out and show their support during such a tough time in the world?
Justin, let me play this out for you. So the news happened on the weekend of Memorial Day weekend, and we scrambled to jump on a call with administration because we were, I'm a big donor. There's a bunch of big donors that were not informed of the decision. We understand the decision. We're business guys. We understand, but we called him and said, listen, is there any way we can get you to change your mind? And he said, yes. Raised $750,000 in 4 days. So if you can imagine, like, my jaw kind of dropped on the phone, and I was like, well, you know what? We've faced adversity over 41-year history. Playing in a non-traditional market. We jumped on with all the alumni, and in 4 days raising that type of money. And to your point, Justin, it wasn't just alumni. It wasn't just the hockey Huntsville community. It was across the globe. We've been going through our GoFundMe. We were number 3 in the world for GoFundMe during that time, which was incredible. And it just tells you about how tight the hockey community is. We had donations from all over the globe. NHLers were jumping in. Brian Burke. Obviously, we had Cam Talbot. We had a number, like the list of NHLers that jumped in, that heard about it, was incredible. But here's the thing. Here's what warmed my heart the most is I talked to a longtime UH hockey fan, and he called just to help after we raised the money. He said, I just want to let you know, my 10-year-old daughter asked if, when she found out what was going on, asked if I could take the allowance that she earned for the month and put it towards saving the program. And when that kind of stuff hits me, like, I'll tell you, like, it just shows the impact that hockey has for families and children. And, so it's meaningful. It was really meaningful.
It absolutely is. And a program that has history as well. And so we always try to do our best to educate people on this, because if they're just brand new and learning about it, that it's a Division I program in the South that is very unique to have that opportunity. But it's been around for a long time when you really think in terms of from the club days to NCAA days, and even to NCAA tournament championships in D-II in 96 and 98. Just this history of this program. What was it like for you to be a part of this program in the mid-90s and to be a part of something that was building something for the future, knowing that, hey, this team won 2 national championships from the legacy that you helped build and gone on to go into the D1 division?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, a lot of people ask me, Justin, like, why am I so passionate about not just UH hockey, but hockey in general? I'm now in Colorado, and I'm helping build a hockey academy out here and donating my time. But UH, it gave me an opportunity to play Division I, Division II hockey Back then it was Division I independent, then we moved to Division II. But you know, where every other school didn't give me that opportunity, that chance. And I don't really know. I was that kind of player that was teetering on potentially going down a bad path. And, you know, whether it's hockey or any sport, you know, especially nowadays with the, you know, the suicide rates of, you know, kids going up as high as they are, sports really helps keep kids on track. So for me, they gave me an opportunity. You know, I was there from 92 to 96. You know, when we dropped to Division II, we went undefeated national championship our last year. You know, sold out the VBC, you know, 6,000 screaming fans. It was just incredible. And it really, you know, it wasn't just us setting the stage. Setting the stage started back in, you know, 1979 when the program started. But you know, it's just been an amazing program. We've seen a ton of success. And, you know, for me, it's just that, you know, we have to keep this going. It's not only just for the hockey fans in Huntsville. I got an interesting call once they reinstated the program from a gentleman who was an Olympic gold medalist wrestler that told me that, you know, we're basically representing every college sport in NCAA. And the reason why he said that is because he's close friends with some people in the administration, athletic director in his college, which I won't say who it is, but they were watching what was happening with UAH because everyone's got budget cuts going on. Everyone has COVID issues. And so there's some low hanging fruit with, you know, the NCAA sport. So for us, he's like, you have to keep forging on with UAH hockey because you're saving a lot of other sport programs in NCAA because nobody wants to deal with the wrath that happened when we rallied and saved the program. You know, it wasn't great for UAH. It was great in the fact that it put a lot of great news out there internationally, but there's a lot of motivation on a lot of different parts, and I'm just really proud to have had the opportunity to play there for 4 years and win a national championship and continue to support the program.
And I mean, for those wanting to know at home, you had a pretty good last year there at your national championship year, 41 points in 29 games. That's pretty darn impressive, Sheldon.
I appreciate that. You know, I haven't been back then. I used to keep track of stats, and I was on XM hockey radio, and they pulled up the all-time stats, and they said, "Oh, you're number 14 all-time points all career." I'm like, I didn't even know that. Well, that's good to know. So, you know, it was a pretty incredible last year. There's no doubt. You know, it was All-American, national championship, undefeated. You know, we literally checked every box, but to be frank, the best memories were the fans, and they had a big parade for us, and you know, like, you know, I know what it's going to be when the Preds win a Stanley Cup. It's going to be like the town will go bananas. They already do. But it's the same thing for us. Like the Huntsville, just, you know, they shut down the town and we were cruising around. It was just something I'll never forget.
And that's spoken like a true hockey player right there too when it comes to community. And that's what it really is about, is the community there too, and how UAH is such an important part of it, especially with hockey, that we see youth hockey, that there's not an NHL team in Huntsville, and there hasn't been. Nashville's kind of far away, even though they're in the viewing area, but hockey is doing really well, especially youth hockey there in Huntsville, and the Chargers are a tremendous part of that. Obviously, the Havoc are a big part of that as well, but the Chargers being NCAA Division I, that there are players there that have the potential to go on with their career, and winning national championships helps that in the community too. So the community of Huntsville, when it comes to hockey, how important are the Chargers in terms of helping develop that youth talent, supporting that youth talent, whether it's teaching classes, going to be part of youth hockey and clinics, things like that? How important is this to the community?
It's critical. I mean, I've just recently moved to Aspen, Colorado. I've joined the Aspen Junior Hockey Board. Our youth hockey numbers have stayed flat for the last 10 years, and I'm literally calling, you know, the CEO Nathan Bowen from TPH, who they're very involved with minor hockey in Nashville and in Huntsville. and I'm taking notes from their playbook. They've grown the North Alabama Hockey Association from 300 kids to over 1,000 over the last decade. So think about that. That's Huntsville, Alabama. And for me, that's like, and these are all former UAH alumni that are part of NAHA. Don't get me wrong, there's Havoc players, but a lot of the Havoc players are former UAH players. So they play at UAH and then they go and play for the Havoc. So yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing about it, which I love, is that so many players that come from all over the globe that have come to Huntsville, and they're staying in Huntsville, and they're supporting the community. They're having kids. So yeah, it's really important to grow the sport. And as we know, the hockey in the South is the fastest growing area in hockey, not only in minor hockey, but obviously the fan support with NHL and Tampa and the Preds doing really well. So so it's been really cool. But it's so important for the community, and that's why it's also important to keep hockey in Huntsville.
Exactly. And it leads right into the next thing, which is this big season ticket drive that's going on and setting these goals, because one of the big things is obviously increasing the budget for this, but increasing the budget because that means the community can do more, the team can do more when it comes to recruiting and everything that's equipment wise. Travel obviously is important for this team in normal times, especially. So the season ticket drive is huge because obviously the VBC needs to be filled, the Von Braun Center, for those of you not familiar with it. And it's such a big arena. It's such a big arena, and even on nights, sometimes when there's well over 1,500 people there, there's still a lot of empty seats, but that's a great crowd. But there's still so much more that can be done to get people there to experience it, because it's Division I hockey in the South. It's a great opportunity. So this season ticket holder drive, if you could just explain a little bit more what it's about, what the goals are for it, and how you want to reach it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Sean Henry with the Predators. He's actually raised his hand after we realized we needed some help. He joined our advisory board with one of his good friends, Bill Wickett, with Tampa Bay Lightning. And before we launched the season ticket drive, we called Sean and we said, because they're doing so well with the Predators, and of course they had some bumps along the way starting it up, but I had pages full of notes from them, and he offered some help from his season ticket folks and some marketing folks, and partnering with them. They're going to be they probably have already sent out some notice on the season ticket drive, but so really grateful for the Predators organization. They've been influential in helping us, but at the end of the day, it's important for us to, the next big hurdle after we sell season tickets is getting in a conference. So the big thing is sending a message to, future conference that we're going to be in, that we are serious about hockey in the South and the community supports it. So, that 3,000 was a nice number for us. To your point, we're playing the VBC. Even at 3,000, there's still going to be some empty seats, but we are in the process of talking to a firm to build a rink on campus, which will probably be under 3,000. It'll probably be 2,000 to 2,500, which is a nice arena for Division I hockey. And it'll also separate us from, competing with the Havoc on ice time and practice time and so forth. So we're really excited about that. But yeah, we've already, we launched the season ticket drive yesterday. We've already had major success. And the cool thing is about it, especially for all the fans that are listening, that are, if you're an hour and a half away from Huntsville, it's $160 for season tickets. I mean, it's really a low entry point, and you get to see some great hockey. A lot of these players will go on to play in the NHL or in the AHL and in Europe. So and it's just a great family atmosphere. So we're really excited about it. It will help out with continuing to drive revenue for UAH. And then the other big piece of it too is it's important for us to put on a great experience for the fans, for the players, for the opposing players, the teams. And as if you only have a couple hundred fans in a 4,000 or 5,000 seat arena, it can be a little bit awkward, I guess is the best way to say it. Like there's no fans in there. So I guess we'll find out when the NHL playoffs start, because that's what it's going to be like. is see, you're going to be able to. The cool thing I'm excited about is you're actually going to get to hear the players talk. Hopefully they mic them up. But yeah, it's just it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, they're gonna have to have the red dump button ready for some of these celebrations,
Yeah,
as we
I
all know
know.
it's said with hockey
I
players.
know exactly. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, but it's similar. It's you never want to play in a rink when there's no fans, there's quiet. So it's important for us to to sell these season tickets, and we're asking everyone, and even if people are listening and they're trying to figure out, well, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to any games. The cool thing, we're doing it this time, first time, for people like myself. We've got a portal set up, so if you want to buy tickets and then donate them, we're setting up partnerships with about a dozen different organizations. I've personally partnered with the Bearded Warriors. They support vets and suicide prevention. So I'm personally donating 30 tickets. They've got a community of 300 vets and wives and husbands and children, and you know what? They're just gonna they do these events together and support each other, and they're gonna be able to go to UAH hockey games. We're gonna roll out the red carpet for them, make sure that the kids get down in the dressing room, sign sticks, sign jerseys, whatever. But it's the same thing we're gonna do. So if anyone's like, hey, I'd love to donate, maybe I missed the opportunity to do the GoFundMe, buy the season tickets and put them in the portal and know that they're going to go to a good cause, and that there'll probably be some children there that maybe have never been able to see a hockey game. They'll be sitting in your seat, so it's all good stuff.
That's huge. That's huge right there, and very important for people, especially with the hockey community, where there's plenty of people probably from all across North America. Like, I want to support, and one-time donation isn't necessarily going to cut it, but getting fans in the stands will. And for $160 as a donation, then you get to help other people experience the game, which is what we
Yeah,
all want, because seeing hockey live in action is the best way to get hooked. And I think it's Sean Henry that even said too, is like, after 3 games, if you're not hooked, then you're probably not going to be a fan. But most
that's
people,
right.
they're going to be hooked. Just three, all it
That's
takes is
right.
3 opportunities to see it, and then you're in and you're sold for life on the sport of hockey. And that's what's so important, is getting people to experience that as well. And we see so many great things already with community focus, especially with the children and things like that the players are involved with after games, especially like the trading card signing. They give away different things and they're able to do autographs and stuff. So it's just building that more and more. And like you said, seeing potential players. I mean, Josh Kessner, just a very recent alum, made it all the way to the AHL. In this recent year, he was the ECHL Player of the Year, and that's huge just in terms of representation of the program and what is there. And he's also a Huntsville product. I mean, it just shows, to go back in the youth hockey, developing local talent there, what's going to come from there. We'll see that in Nashville soon too, but seeing from Huntsville, seeing guys like Josh Kessner, who is from Huntsville, play for Huntsville and then go on to make it in the pros is always exciting. And Sheldon, so as we start to wrap this up as well, where can people find more information on this and how to be involved, how to buy season tickets, and just how to keep getting more information on what's going on?
I believe it's under saveuahhockey.com. And yeah, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You won't be assigned seats right away. Right now, actually, it's funny, we're actually working with Sean on creating that whole, like, in-game experience, in-game operations experience. Because at the end of the day, we want people to leave there feeling like fulfilled in some capacity. Not only seeing great hockey, but just in between periods, in between whistles, and really creating a VIP white glove treatment. So what I will tell the fans out there, that it'll be a different experience. If you've been to games in the past, in the future, it's going to be, as long as COVID doesn't eliminate the fans, we're gonna really bring it hard. And we're here to stay. And again, I just really grateful for having me on, Justin. Grateful for the fan support. This is important for hockey in the South specifically, because to your point, there's so many kids that are relying on the idols, which are the Preds, the Division I hockey, the Havoc. I mean, these are the spark that gets the kids up early to put on their skates. So we need to keep it alive. So we really appreciate the time and support.
Absolutely. We'll continue on supporting it and pass on all the information that we absolutely can. So Sheldon, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Take care.